get ready for these kids coming in.
What time they get in?
I think they land about 2.
You think they land
I think.
at 2?
I'm not in charge
So
of
it
that.
could be like 6.
Ask me this. Linda, do you need me to help you with anything, dear?
Me and Linda have been married 37 years, and we have 4 beautiful children.
And for the first time in 15 years,
The kids are all living back in the same city as us. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep them here.
And Judge Greg Mathis and his son, Greg Mathis Jr. are joining us now. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
First of all, before we get into the show, I have to ask, did it work? Are the kids still here?
Yes, they are so far.
So far.
Yeah, but I'll watch and find out, right?
They haven't sold their homes in D.C., so we keep it on.
That's huge. That's huge. Okay, and I have to side with Linda. It goes a long way when you say, honey, do you need any help with anything? I know this, so just keep that up. Okay, Greg, you just transitioned from D.C. You are now here. You moved here. How has the transition been?
I love it here. I like being with family, first of all, but also, I mean, the weather. You can't beat it.
I know.
I do miss being in D.C. I worked in politics for almost a decade, and I mean, that was my passion, and I'm going to miss that, and missing the action of it, but it's been nice to be closer to family and taking on a new role, managing this guy and the rest of my family.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's a completely different role now. You're now, managing your family, doing all the current family affairs with that, so it's got to be so different and fun.
Well, and you might think so, but the funny part is that a lot of the skills I picked up in politics useful for them also when you think about the relationships and
when you manage a U.S. senator, you're managing the U.S. senator, you're managing the congressman where he worked, and so not too bad. I'm not as picky as politicians.
Oh, please.
Or crooked. At least I'm not a crook.
Well, it's funny because we know you on air as your character being a judge. What are we going to be surprised to know about you at home?
That I have no authority.
None whatsoever.
And that's when when you see me now and you see me giving orders so intently and getting mean on television, now you know why.
Yeah.
You say he's doing that now because he can't do that at home.
You're taking orders at home.
Listen to him at home, and so he won't get up here and talk tough to us. So that's what they'll find out.
Okay, well, it seems like a lot of fun. You're going to be able to tell your dad what to do now, right?
A little bit.
You're going to be given the orders.
Yep.
Reality shows. I mean, you pretty much put your personal life on public display. Is that hard?
Yes, it was. It was very vulnerable. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think particularly with me, if you watch the show, you'll see I kind of share my story of coming out and being more public and confident in my sexuality. And my dad and I have a pretty intense conversation. But I think particularly with me, being able to help people, and I've already gotten a lot of messages from people who were inspired by, the scene they saw with us was more important than any nervousness that I have and still have. Shoot.
Yeah. And it is important to just be comfortable and happy. It's happiness that you want. You only have one life, so gotta live
what
it.
was so touching about that conversation, and folks, I'm told that's the biggest moment in reality television in many years, seeing our conversation. But what was important to me is to let him know that you should fight back against discrimination in any manner, and that's what I've done, whether it's race, whether it's on behalf of the poor, whether it's on behalf of women. Now it's the LGBTQ plus community that I still fight for. I even fight for.
As we are still reacting to the divorce between Greg Mathis, the judge, and the wife Linda Mathis, having got married, for 39 years. The two tied the knot, in June 1st, that is 1985, and ever since they have welcomed 4 kids. That is the likes of Jade, who is 39, Camara, 36, Greg Jr., 35, and Amir, who is 34. In 2022, the family gave fans an inside look into their lives when they held a reality TV show known as Mathis Family Matters that was aired on E! The show, Mathis talked about, his marriage to Linda Mathis and said his family is his greatest achievement to date. The star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is suddenly the highest professional achievement, he said, in season 1 of the show. But of course, he said that the foundation of all her success was actually belonged to Linda because she allowed him to work. you know, 15 hours a day. That's what she said, 5-6 days a week. But of course, as a man, as the patriarch of the family, I don't expect you know to be getting all the, I mean, to get permission from your wife to, when you happen to go for work 5 days a week, like 15 hours a day, because at the end of it all, man, you're working for your family. So I think that's the first red flag. It means that Greg Mathis gave all the powers to the wife, that is Linda, and you know this. For me personally, I don't think this is actually something that cannot be negotiated. As a man, you've got to be the leader of the family, you've got to be the most powerful. Well, it doesn't mean that you're not going to give at least some powers to your wife, but as a man, you've got to be the main character within the family. You cannot be getting permission from your family to go to work. So still another red flag I saw from this relationship. You know, in one interview, Judge Greg Mathis was saying that, you know, it's always Linda, you know, trying to initiate, you know, when they're making love in the bed, you know, man, well, it's completely okay for a lady to initiate things at a time. But of course, historically, for thousands and thousands of years, women have always been, you know, the laid back. It's your role as a man, you know, to lead the relationship, to lead in the bedroom, and of course to make things kinky all the time. So giving all your powers, letting the woman, you know, initiate things in the bedroom, I think it really angers them from an instinctive and deeper level. That's why maybe we are seeing things did not go as expected, despite the fact that they had spent so many years, close to 40 years together. So lots of red flags I've been seeing from the Greg Mathis and the wife Linda relationship, and of course it does not surprise me when you happen to analyze this relationship that eventually, you know, Linda decided to end this marriage. But of course we are praying for them, and of course it's still a developing story. We'll be coming out, you know, to give you more details with regards to how they are going to separate, the riches they have made together, and stuff like that.